Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. So we're gonna do another reacting to unpopular opinions video, and let me explain. In my last one that I did maybe a month ago at this point, I'm not sure how long it's been, I left a pinned comment because literally the day before I uploaded it, after it had already been like scheduled, edited, filmed, everything was already done, I realized that most of the comments that were left on my community tab one somehow got put in my held for review folder, which is really weird because I've literally never had something go into that folder before in my entire life on YouTube. And it was funny because I thought that just none of you participated because I only had like 3 that showed up in the main post, but really a lot of you guys participated and I felt really bad, so I left a pinned comment asking if you guys wanted to see like another unpopular opinions video focused on you here on YouTube specifically, unpopular opinions, and you guys said yes. And I also left another community tab one just for you guys to give even more if you wanted to, but I'm going to go over all those ones in the held for review and the new ones. I will react to as many as possible, and I think it'll be fun. I don't think these videos really get old. I think they're really interesting to kind of see what people like and dislike, and I try to kind of keep as much positivity going on as possible. We're not here to bash anyone's makeup style. No one's feelings are getting hurt. It's all for fun. Makeup is very subjective as far as what people like and dislike. If you don't like my makeup style, that's fine. I might not like your makeup style, and that's also fine. We all have our own preferences, and I just think it's fun to chat about it. I will not be going over anything regarding false lashes because I know that your general consensus is you don't like them. I will not be going over winged liner because, again, your general consensus is you don't like it. And I didn't say this in the post, but I'm also not going to go over lip liner because a lot of you really hate overlined lips, and I really just don't think it's that deep. But blanket statement, a lot of you guys don't like overlined lips. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Let's just move on to the other unpopular opinions that are more exciting. Oh, and also really quick, I did film this look, of course. I film all my looks. This is part of my 2 more looks with the Juvia's Place Deuce palette. That should already be up by the time this video goes up. All right, comments. Let's go to my held for review and scroll way back. Like, it's insane. Like, there's so many that I missed, and I felt so bad when I realized that because I was like, dang, I really, really thought you guys just didn't care, but you participated. You just didn't get to me, I guess. I don't understand the point of light coverage concealer. Sheer foundation, give me that all day, but sheer concealer, like you had one job. I do get what you're saying because like the idea of concealer is to conceal things. However, I feel like sheer coverage concealer is perfect for people that just have really, really, really nice skin. I also personally do kind of prefer more of a medium coverage concealer. I don't need a full coverage one just because I don't like the way that looks on me. And sometimes sheer or light coverage blends out better. Sometimes people have trouble with full coverage actually looking decent on their under eyes. So I can understand the point of why people might gravitate towards it, but I do personally prefer a little bit more of a medium coverage than a sheer for myself. The whole only mattes in the crease, never a satin or shimmer bugs me. I'm not a shimmer or satin in the crease kind of person, so I do disagree with you there. I like my mattes in the crease. I like my shimmers all over the lid and in the lower lash line and in the inner corner. I'll even do like glitter wings, or I'll do an exaggerated wing. You won't ever catch me blending shimmer in the crease. And as far as satins go, I'm just not a satin person in general. If it was my only option, I can make it work as a matte if I need to, but I will very not often pick up a satin shadow. You also said, also people saying you can't wear a bold eye with a bold lip. To that. I agree. I think you can totally wear a bold eye with a bold lip. This could even be considered like a bold eye and a bold lip because it's a bit darker. For me, it's just a nude, but I know some people would consider this bold. But you'll catch me wearing like crazy, vibrant, dark eyes with a black lip or just something vibrant. I do, on the regular, usually wear just like a sheer sparkly gloss or a nude, but I do have no problem with bold eyes and bold lips together. I don't think that matters. I don't like wearing both foundation and concealer. I pick one over the other. In fact, I don't think most people need to wear both. Contradictory disclaimer, if wearing both makes you happy, carry on with that. Exactly, like if you like wearing both, go for it. I feel like it's half and half for me. Half the time I'll either wear just concealer, which I'm wearing today. I'm not wearing foundation, I'm just wearing concealer and then some cream products. And set my under eyes, of course. But I also wear foundation and concealer too. It just kind of depends on my mood. Right now I'm just in a no foundation kind of kick since I'm staying at home anyways. I don't want to waste all my foundation. I'm using it for YouTube, but still. But I don't know. I get what you're saying because I totally feel fine wearing just concealer, but I can also understand people feeling the need to wear both, and that's totally valid. I prefer doing my eyes after all my base products, brows before base products, and I'm not an over-the-top highlighter person. Okay, you have a lot to say, so let me just stop there. I do it exactly the same way. I always do my brows first, and then I do my base, and then I do my eyes. I would screw up so bad if I did my brows any later than first thing. I just don't feel like that would work out very well for me. On the rare occasion that I do my eyes first, I just have such a hard time feeling like my look is complete until I do everything. So I usually like to do my base first because I can see it coming together easier. I love over-the-top highlights. I feel like, well, my highlight's not too over-the-top today in my opinion. It might be for you, but I like really bright, vibrant, pop-in, even colorful highlights. I think it's really fun. I'm not a colorful looks type person, although I'm liking the color pink because of that Midas glow palette you use. I'm glad that you're liking color. I feel like there are some colors you can kind of delve into lightly and kind of get more comfortable with it. Not saying you ever have to be someone that wears an all rainbow look. That's not for everyone, but I'm glad that you're getting into color. I think that's great. I'm also not a fan of liquid lipsticks. I only own one and it's my adventurous shade. I mean, I'm wearing a liquid lipstick now. However, I've changed my preferences a little bit and I always wear, if I can grab it, my NYX lip conditioner underneath all my matte liquid lipsticks so that it can be more of a satin hydrating kind of finish. As far as regular liquid lipsticks, I do prefer more of like a cream, but I'm also becoming a lot more of a gloss person. So I kind of agree with you there. Less is more in my opinion. I like a lot. I like bold, I like colorful, I think it's fun. And I would skip bronzer for blush most days. I could go on and on. I'm kind of with you on that. I do always at least wear my cream bronzer, but I'm not wearing powder bronzer today. My blush definitely takes over my face and I like it like that. I prefer more of a blushy look versus a bronzy look for myself. Ultra nude lips do not look cute. Whenever I see an influencer use an ultra nude lip product, I can't help but think they'd look better in a darker nude. I feel like it just depends on the look for me. Sometimes I really, really like a very light nude, but it does depend on the tone. I touched on this in the last one. You have to find your right undertone for a light nude. It can't be too yellow for you or too pink or too peach. You have to find your specific tone that works for your specific skin because you can wear the wrong one and it can be really bad. As a general rule, I do prefer a little bit of a darker nude, but again, I do like a really light nude sometimes depending on the look. Unpopular opinion, I don't like my Bloodlust palette. Ooh, I didn't buy that one. That one just did not call to me at all. And I also just haven't purchased a Jeffree Star product in about a year and I'm not really hopping on the train to do that. I'm not taking a break or canceling anyone. I'm just being cautious, you know what I mean? I'm really trying to focus on where I put my money. And that palette just did not appeal to me whatsoever. I thought it was kind of ugly, to be honest with you, but that sucks that you don't like it because I know it was expensive. That's a shame. Medium coverage is better than full coverage. I'm with you there. I think people overuse concealer, meaning maybe they don't even need it at all. I also cringe when I see the huge triangles. How does that even look in real life? I definitely used to be that person because I just followed influencer tutorials like to a T, and it's definitely a lot. It can get cakey very fast. I'm more of a fan of just kind of dotting it where you need it and blending from there. But it also just depends on your personal preference and needs, you know? I don't like foundation at all, and I also think full gram or Instagram looks look bad in real life most of the time. I think it can look really pretty. I don't know. If I see someone with like a full B, I am going to compliment them because I think it's really cool. Too many people add too much bronzer to the point that it doesn't even look good and it looks like dirt. I don't know, man. Some people look really cute with a lot of bronzer. I don't feel like I'm that person, so I try to be less with my bronzer, but I don't really have an opinion on that because I don't know if I can think of a specific instance where I'm like, oh man, that's too much bronzer, because I don't know. I'm very much a you do whatever you want to do kind of person. CoverGirl foundation is the worst. It breaks apart and has terrible undertones. I've never tried CoverGirl anything, which is a shame because they are cruelty free. I really should. So I don't have an opinion on the foundation, but good to know. e.l.f. has a terrible range of foundations. I agree with that. Hopefully they can step it up. Makeup Revolution cannot come out with an original concept. Their foundation colors are hard to decipher online. Their foundation colors are hard to decipher online, I do agree with that. I feel like they can come out with an original concept. I feel like I just can't think of what it is right now. Like, I feel like their little haunted house palette that I got gifted from one of you guys, I thought that was really cute, and I hadn't really seen anything like that where it was like a spooky themed palette, but it wasn't just typical like green, black, orange, purple. It was more like berry tones, and I thought it was really cool. But as a general rule, I get what you're saying. They definitely dupe most things. NARS needs to leave orgasm alone. Every holiday, it's a new orgasm themed collection. Try something new and stop making everything limited edition. I agree. I don't like when brands just piggyback off the same concept again and again and again. It's one thing if maybe you release like an additional thing later on. It's like an extra thing. But if you just keep pounding the same idea, it gets really old. And limited edition doesn't really mean anything anymore, so I wish people would just stop saying it. Baking over the foundation too many times and looking dry like the Sahara Desert. I don't like baking, it doesn't work for me, but I do know it works for some people. Fair people who fake tan and end up looking orange. I'm too scared of fake tanner, but I'm also very comfortable with my pale skin, so I've never ventured into it. But I've seen some scary tans, not even just from fair people, but from all skin types, and it can be scary, and that's part of the reason why I won't do it. But again, I'm also very comfortable with my paleness. I don't like pigmented blush, bronzer, highlighter, especially when they're in giant pans. I don't know how many years it would take to use before it goes bad, and if it's too pigmented, it takes even longer. I get what you're saying, and I do wish more brands would come out with smaller versions of things. I really like minis because it's really hard to go through an entire product, and I feel like minis would be better, more cost effective. There's a whole lot of reasons. I do wish things were smaller. No makeup looking makeup is rarely worth the money, exception for the Kosas tinted facial oil. I don't know what that is, but good to know. I don't really gravitate towards no makeup makeup. That's just not my game, but I can see why some people would like it. Maybe they just want to lightly enhance what they already have going on, and I can understand that. I always see people so excited about how pigmented a blush is. I love super sheer blushes that can be packed on without any worries. I mean, that's the pro with sheer blushes, is you don't have to worry about going overboard. With a pigmented one, you have to usually use a lighter hand and just slowly build up, which is what I do because I do like a pigmented blush. But I can see like your point. Not everyone wants like a crazy pigmented blush, and that's very valid. Unpopular opinion, pressed glitters are amazing. I'm just not a pressed glitter person. I have dipped into the ones that I own just because they're there and I'm like, I might as well use it, but it's just like I don't go out of my way to buy pressed glitters or even use them. I'm trying to zip around because I know some of these I touched on in the last one too, so I'm trying not to be too repetitive, and some of these are even repetitive in themselves. A lot of you guys really hate foundation, don't you? I hate do's and don'ts video, especially those that are like half face of good techniques and half face of bad ones. Like, who are you to tell people what looks good or not and what they should wear on their own face? And a lot of those, they also exaggerate the bad side so much it's ridiculous. I completely agree with you. You'll never catch me doing a video like that. Hopefully, if I do, call me out, I guess. But like, everyone has their own techniques and preferences, and you're right, because when you throw all the bad techniques on the one side and they over-exaggerate it, of course it's gonna look horrible. But I don't really like those kinds of videos. It's fine to like insert your own techniques and explain why you prefer to do things a certain way, but don't, in doing so, bash a different technique. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. You guys really don't like highlighting either. I'm going through a lot of these that say like highlights are overrated and stuff like that. I will always love highlight. I just think it's so fun. Eyebrows are the most important feature. If you have overgrown brows or no brows, it affects the whole landscape of your face. I agree that eyebrows are really important, but to say, I don't know if you're trying to say that you can't have overgrown brows or you can't have no brows, because I've seen so many people rock no eyebrows so well, and I think it looks so cool. And even with overgrown fluffy brows, there is a point where I feel like you should do a little grooming and maintenance, but I've seen some really fluffy brows that look really, really good with their style and their aesthetic. I don't feel like there's like a perfect way to do your brows, is really what I'm getting at. And I don't even know if that's what you were trying to get at by like bashing a specific type. I'm just stating my opinion here. I don't think any of the Urban Decay Naked palettes are good. They're so overrated. The only ones I ever owned were 3, Smoky, and Heat. 3 I got as a gift and I loved it at the time, but then over time I just decided it wasn't like my palette anymore. Naked Smoky I was pretty disappointed with, and the Naked Heat I actually really liked. However, over time I did declutter it because it just wasn't my perfect color story. I still love and use Kat Von D products and still love Kat's art and her as a brand despite the controversy. See, I feel like it's okay, for me at least, to objectively like her art style, but I just do not vibe with her as a person. She's not someone that I would support. That's where I'm gonna leave it at that. I actually really like using single shadows and think eye primer is a waste of time. Eye primer is how I get my looks to the way they are. I don't think I'd be able to do this without eye primer. Personally, maybe you have perfect eyelids, I'm not quite sure about that. I like using single shadows, I just don't reach for them as often as I reach for my palettes. Lately I've been trying to incorporate my single shadows in with my palettes, but It's not always easy. Cream looks better than powder no matter what makeup step. I love cream products so much. I think it's so pretty. Okay, I jumped around through those held for review comments. Let's go to the newest community tab ones. Makeup is not seasonal. There's no such thing as a summer palette or a winter palette. You can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. There's nothing wrong with wearing bright colors in the winter. I'm so with you there. I typically do like I did a fall makeup favorites video and I did a spring makeup favorites video, and you guys seemed like you want me to continue doing that because you told me. I like doing those because those are the products that I do tend to gravitate towards, but that doesn't mean I'm only going to use those and I'm not going to use something else. Like, I will definitely use other things. I will definitely wear a bold eye and a dark lip in the middle of spring, and I will also wear light airy makeup in the middle of fall. Not usually, because that's not my style preference, but you know what I mean. I agree. I don't think things are seasonal. Matte eyeshadows with glitter particles in them are completely overrated. Most of the time you don't see the glitter particles on the eyelid anyway. I do agree, if you pack it on with a brush and blend it out, the glitter just goes away. However, I know with the Colourpop sequin shadows, which are what you're describing, if you use your finger and press it on, it does show up and it's really pretty. It's subtle, but it is pretty. But I could also live without them just fine. I think Huda Beauty is overrated. Mostly just heard about the bad quality for the price. I also think baking's overrated. We've talked about baking. I've only used one Huda Beauty product. I have the Tantour, and I really like that product for like a really nice bronzy contour kind of color. It's a cream product. It's really pigmented, but I find if you use a small amount and blend it really nice, it looks really pretty. But I haven't tried anything else to attest to that statement that you made. Some makeup artists on social media choose foundations that are way too deep for their skin tones. Yeah, I see it a lot, especially like those P. Louise makeup school girls or whatever. They, I swear, use the same shade on everybody in their model tutorials. It's kind of jarring to look at. I love the little shape stamps and gems that people put under their eyes. I don't think it's over the top at all. I think it's fun, and makeup should be fun. I agree. I think it's adorable. I haven't played with my Milk makeup stamps in a while, but maybe I should do it soon because they're so pretty. I know everybody hates all the new releases being churned out, but I actually love it because I have more to choose from, and buying makeup makes me happy. I get that aspect a lot because it gives you a large variety of what to pick from. I personally wish it would slow down a little bit, which it has right now for obvious reasons, but I wish it would continue to stay slowed down, because then when things come out, it seems more special, more exciting, more thought was put in, that kind of thing. I feel like sometimes it's pushed out too much and it doesn't even seem like thought was put in. Kind of. Why don't people do tutorials with older palettes anymore? It's like they do too, and I hardly see them used anymore. I've been doing, personally, plenty of Shop My Stashes lately, and I've also started a new series where I do 2 more looks with a palette, and like I did one with the Deuce today. So I'm trying to use older stuff, but I do get what you're saying. A lot of people don't revisit palettes. I'm trying my best to revisit palettes. In my IGTV videos, I try to use palettes I haven't used in a while just to get some use and more inspiration out of them. But I do wish more people would play with older stuff. Millions of followers for beauty influencers are overrated, kind of pertaining to makeup. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple that I like and I think truly do what they do because they love it, but so many smaller YouTubers are so much more genuine and have way better unique personalities, and I definitely go to them for my recommendations over bigger influencers. I think that some of the people who have the following do not deserve it, but that's just my opinion. Love you, Betty Jean, and you gave me so much inspiration for makeup. You're one of my favorite YouTubers that I constantly watch. You're so sweet. You're such an angel. Thank you very much. It's like, I can imagine how much work some of these influencers that have millions put in, but I do tend to look at my smaller YouTube peers for recommendations over the bigger ones. I feel like it can just get hard to relate to people once they get too big. It's hard. I get what you're saying, but I do still follow some bigger people too. I feel like I'm in the same boat as you. Everyone seems to hate ABH's velvet packaging, but I absolutely adore it. It made the brand feel so cohesive and made it obvious that the palettes were theirs. The new ABH palette designs have felt so disjointed and not ABH. I wish they would go back to it. I hated how dirty they got so fast. I loved the look of them when they were pristine and pretty. I know I keep touching my hair. This one piece does not want to stay put. But I don't mind the new ones either, which I'm not like an ABH palette collector, so it's not a huge deal to me, but I at least like that they're all the same size. So to me, they still feel very cohesive. They still feel like the brand. They aren't doing like crazy different shapes. I don't know. I don't like care either way, personally. I only trust gurus that are willing to zoom in and show texture and problems on their skin after trying products. If a guru doesn't do that, I will still watch their videos, but I don't trust the brand product reviews at all. That makes me wonder if you trust me, because I don't know if I like full on zoom in and show you really close up. Like I zoom in pretty close to my face for the whole process, but I don't feel like I like get all up in your face and show you things. So I don't even know how to feel about that, but I do get what you're saying as far as like I want to see some closeness, but I don't need people to like zoom in like with a microscope or anything. Collecting makeup and not using it kind of annoys me. Or if you have discontinued makeup and instead of just using it off screen, you give it away because you don't want to promote it on your channel. Just use it when you're not filming. Well, for me, I film literally almost every day. Every look that I wear, you guys see. So I don't have like time to film off camera because I always film what I'm wearing. So for me, if I'm like just truly not getting use out of a palette, I 100% will give it away to one of my friends because they'll get more use out of it than me, and that's very valid. I don't have time to play with everything. And I try to steer away from the just like collecting makeup mindset. Like I'm not gonna buy something just to have it. I want things that I'm actually going to love and that gives me joy. For instance, a good example, Give Me Glow's coming out with that new palette, and I own all of their palettes except the staple one, because I love all those palettes, but I'm not a completionist anymore. I used to be, and I'm not gonna buy this new one because I don't like it. I don't think it's very exciting for me, so I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna collect it just for the sake of having a new Give Me Glow palette. I try to get things that I'm really gonna get use out of, and especially now, I have a lot of palettes. I do declutters every 6 months or so and try to keep it curated, but it's not because I'm just like trying to get rid of stuff. It's just sometimes things have their place in my life at a certain time. I get as much use out of it as I'm able to, and then I realize I'm just not going to get enough use out of it anymore, so I try to pass it along. I would never just throw things away, but I do try to get use out of it. I know that was a little rancy, but I don't want to ever feel like I'm being wasteful because I try really hard to be very conscious of what I'm buying nowadays. Graphic liner should be normalized and done more in general. I love the look, but everywhere I go with an intricate look, people look at me like I'm crazy, but I like the colors and shapes. Aw, continue doing what you're doing. Honestly, the more you do it, the less people are going to be confused. I wish it could become more normalized to just wear whatever the hell you want. I think that's awesome though. I hope you continue to do it. Blushy noses are the cutest thing ever. I will always blush my nose. It annoys me when larger beauty YouTubers declutter discontinued limited edition palettes because they say they can't use them on their channel. The smaller YouTubers I watch seem much more practical and creative with their declutters and are realistic and logical. I get what you're saying with that because like I'm not personally, kind of going back on that one we were just talking about, I'm not going to personally just declutter something because it's limited edition because I'll still use it. Some of you still have those palettes, so it's still relevant. And even if you don't have that palette, maybe you can dupe it out with something else. I think it can be really fun, but just decluttering it only because it's limited edition isn't a valid reason. If it's limited edition and you're not getting use out of it, that's valid. Give it to your friends. Why not? Monochromatic yellow look and contrasting blush like purpley pink is yum and not clownish. Well, technically that would be complementary, not contrasting if it's purple and yellow. But I get what you're saying. They're very vastly different, opposite sides of the color wheel. I like the way that looks. I think it's really pretty. I did a monochromatic yellow look recently with a purple lip and I thought it was really cute. Also, Linda Hallberg Cosmetics is underrated, and it's not that expensive if you do the math. Plus, it's Linda freaking Hallberg herself. I haven't tried anything from her, mostly just because I haven't been that drawn to make a purchase. You know what I mean? There hasn't been anything that's called to me enough to bite the bullet, essentially. So that's the only reason I have it. I've never considered her brand to be overly expensive compared to some of the other things. I find it annoying when people think you can't wear any color of shadow or lip colors with fun colored hair. Say someone has green hair and they will only wear colors that go with that color. I say wear what you want. I agree with you. I do say just wear whatever you want, but I will say back when I was doing very fun bright colors, this I don't even consider like that vibrant and fun because it's a lot more muted and dusty. I feel like I can still wear this with pretty much everything. It's like a neutral in my mind. But when I had say like bright green hair, bright blue hair, or neon pink, or red, I did feel weird wearing certain colors with it. Not to say you can't or you're not allowed, but there were more colors I was more excited to use versus others, which is part of the reason why I went to the white and why I'm still just sticking with like a very toned down color, because I feel like I personally like wearing everything with it versus before I did feel a little limited. And again, not to say you're not allowed, it was just me personally, I felt like I didn't want to wear certain colors with certain hair colors. I hate glitter. I hate the mess glitter can leave, but I love glitter. I don't love it as much as I used to though, I feel like, because I used to wear it pretty much every day and I don't wear it very often anymore. Colorful fun eyeshadow looks can and should be considered office appropriate. I work for a federal science agency and I always get compliments whenever I wear bright, bold eye looks, especially when I incorporate bits of shine and sparkle. See, I do agree that it should be okay everywhere. You should be allowed to wear whatever you want. You should be allowed to have whatever hair color. You should be allowed to have tattoos. That stuff should not matter. It doesn't define you as a worker. But I can't agree and say that they are office appropriate. Like you said, they can and should be. I don't think they are necessarily. It depends on your employer. It depends on your place of work. Unfortunately, we're in a place where it's just not considered appropriate everywhere, but I wish it was, yes. Buying highlighter at a high-end price is unnecessary, especially when there are so many great options at lower price points that do the same thing. And having a large collection of them is too unnecessary, excluding the duochrome ones with a bright color flip like green, purple, etc., which do tend to be ashy on deeper skin tones, by the way. Most neutral are all a take on gold or pinky shimmer. It's like I agree and disagree on a lot of those. I have plenty of affordable ones that I love, but I also have a few high-end ones that I really love, but I do feel like I tend to gravitate towards my affordable ones, so I don't feel like you have to buy a high-end one. I love my affordable highlights very much. I do have an extensive collection, but I do try to make sure I have variety. You definitely don't need to collect a million gold toned highlights unless you just want to. Maybe that's your thing. Sometimes you can have the same color but in a different formula. Sometimes it's more sheeny, sometimes it's more sparkly. I can understand having multiple different formulas in a similar color, but try just to be careful so you don't dupe yourself out, just so you don't waste your money. But I like having fun colored highlights. I didn't know that duochrome ones looked ashy on deeper skin tones. I never really realized. But those of you that have deeper skin tones, you'll have to let us know how you guys do with duochrome highlights. I'd love to know. I love straight up bright orange blush. The standard pinky peach blush look awful on me. Orange all the way. So I'm not an orange person, but I do like an orangey blush. I think it's cute. However, I do personally prefer more of a peachy orange than just straight up orange. But if you like orange, go for it. Enjoy it. I'm really sick of seeing barely touched or barely unused makeup in videos. Give me some pan. I want to see that palette dirty AF. I get what you're saying. I do want to see like makeup that's actually used, but if you're someone like me that tries to use as much as possible to appease you guys and use lots of different things, it's hard to get significant pan in my palettes because like I said, I'm filming every day pretty much. You guys see all my looks, so I can't work on one palette nonstop because you guys want to see variety. So that's why I don't always have the most dirty palettes, but I try my best to get plenty of use out of them. I've heard people say the makeup tutorial video is dead, and I cannot disagree more. I watch reviews specifically to get ideas for my own makeup, especially eyeshadow. I think it's great that you're still watching them. As a general rule though, makeup tutorials are not where it's at. Obviously, I'm a very tutorial-based channel. I do plenty of them, but I can tell you right now, those are not the highest viewed videos on my channel. The ones that get the higher views are palette declutters, which you guys seem to not really enjoy. Anything relating, like something like this will probably do decent because it's like unpopular opinions. People like to see semi-negativity. Things like that are what people view the most, especially for my channel. And as someone who's a tutorial-based channel, they aren't the highest viewed. They don't do bad, but they aren't like the most popular. I like tutorials, I like reviews, and I'm glad you do too, but unfortunately that's just not where YouTube's at right now. I use brow pencils to line my eyes and make wings. As long as it's not irritating your eyes, go for it. Do whatever you want. My memory card filled up and I had to change it, so if things suddenly look different, it's because I had to move my camera. You should wear whatever style you want and as much makeup as you want to run errands. Sometimes I want to wear dark, dramatic eyes and dark lips just to go to the grocery store during the day. Sue me. I totally agree. Wear whatever you want, whenever you want. I had someone on my videos recently, they were like, do you actually wear your looks out? And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I? I think my makeup's fine. I'm very comfortable wearing it, and I think you should wear whatever you want, wherever you want, provided you're allowed. Like if you're at a place of work where you're not allowed to, don't. But otherwise, do whatever you want. I do my eyes and not the rest of my face most of the time. I enjoy doing fun, dramatic eye looks, but I don't like to wear foundation or concealer on the rest of my face most of the time. People say you have to do your whole face or just mascara and gloss or nothing. I mean, again, it's totally your preference. If you are totally comfortable like not doing your base but doing good eye looks, then absolutely go for it. I like seeing the whole completed picture. I don't prefer the way I look if I have a crazy eye look and nothing on my base, but that's just me. If you enjoy it, absolutely go for it. I think the idea that makeup has to be flattering is kind of useless and judgy. Yes, for a lot of people that's the end goal, but for others it doesn't matter if their eyebrows or contour, etc. flatter their specific face shape. You should be able to do your makeup however you want, in my opinion. Love your videos, by the way. They're a great inspiration and an anxiety relief. I'm so happy I'm able to do that for you. Thank you so much. I get what you're saying completely, yeah. Do whatever you want. Just because something might flatter you better than others doesn't mean you should only do it that way. Do whatever makes you happy. I feel like I'm probably annoying in these videos because I'm just like, yeah, Fight the power, do whatever you want. Matte eyeshadows are overrated. Sure, they're good in some capacity, but I prefer shimmers all the way, even using them in the crease. P.S. Love you. Love you too, even though you don't love matte eyeshadow. I love my matte eyeshadows. That's how I do my crease work. That's how I build up the foundation of my looks, and I will always love mattes. Trying to just skip around again because some of these are very similar. No lip gloss is ever worth it because it'll just get stuck on your hair. I love lip gloss. I am willing to fight the battle. I only like full matte eyeshadow looks. I hate shimmer eyeshadow, which everyone finds weird. I do find that kind of weird just because shimmer is so exciting and pretty, and they've gotten so exciting, especially lately with all the duochromes and the shifts and the texture and the shine. I can't imagine not liking shimmer, but I mean, cool for you if you just like mattes. It's just, I can't imagine that. Oh, this is a good one. So you started by saying popular opinion. Older women like me shouldn't wear dramatic makeup looks. And then you said, I disagree. I love wearing dramatic eye makeup and it's a lot of fun. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I love that. Please continue to have that mindset. I think that's amazing. I think lots of people look beautiful with very thin, very darkly drawn on eyebrows. Okay, it's not that I'm saying you can't or you shouldn't. I just personally, usually on most people, don't love really thin brows. I think a fuller brow is my preference for most people. But again, not saying you can't or you shouldn't. That's just kind of where I lightly disagree. Not a huge fan of brow highlights. You know, I kind of stopped highlighting my brow bone a long time ago, and I don't even remember making a conscious decision about it, but I like the way my looks turn out. I don't ever feel like I feel incomplete without having the brow bone highlight. I think it looks nice. I think lining your upper waterline is overrated and doesn't make a huge difference. If having a bare or nude lower waterline makes your eyes bigger, why not the upper line? I do it for a specific reason. I tightline my upper waterline because of my lashes. It helps my lash band blend in better. I would never do it if I didn't wear lashes, but that's why I do it. That makes all the difference in the world, helping them blend. Highlighter on the nose is a crime, like any at all, especially on top of super blush covered nose. Why are you here? Why are you here? I always highlight my blush nose. I have no need for brown shimmer shades. I rarely reach into a brown shimmer, just like a boring brown shimmer. It's not often. I hate when bigger influencers receive PR and they don't even need it or promote it. I think influencers like you deserve so much more. You're such an inspiration. You're so sweet. Now, obviously I'm not in their shoes, so I can't say for sure, but I imagine if you're a bigger influencer, you're getting so much PR. I can't imagine how you could use all of it, so I can understand why they don't showcase all of it. And also with PR, you're not required to show it. That would be a sponsorship if you're required to. So with just PR, if you felt the need to do like a specific video for every PR ever, that's like doing free sponsored work, which you don't have to do. PR is just sent out as a suggestion, like, here's our product, try it. If you like it and want to show it on camera, go for it. So you don't have to show PR. That's the first point. But the second point is I do agree that some people get too much PR. I feel like people like Samantha Ravindell, she took herself off of all the PR lists because she just felt like it was becoming too wasteful and she wasn't able to use it anyways. And I think that's great. Not to say that no one should receive PR ever. I don't think everyone should take their name off of every PR list, but maybe some of these bigger influencers should really sit down and curate who they want to receive PR from, because they definitely don't need it from everybody, because there's no way you can get use out of everything ever, even if you don't show it on camera. Graphic liner is weird looking to me. I disagree. I think it's really cool. I don't do it because I'm not talented in that aspect, but I think it's cool. And I'm also not a fan of cut crease over the top looks. I wish people would do stuff that's easier to follow along to. I do lots of cut creases, but I feel like I try to do it in a way that's easy for you guys to follow along to, and I think it works because I get a lot of messages and pictures of you guys recreating my looks, and you guys do such a great job, and I try to keep it as easy as possible. So I feel like there's a way to do like more over the top cut creasy stuff, but still making it easier to follow. But there's also a million people out there. If you don't like the way someone's doing something with their makeup style, go follow someone else. No hard feelings. Brands need more environmentally friendly packaging. I can't speak. I tried to say that phrase like 5 times. I kept getting tongue twisted. No more outrageous over-the-top bulky plastic packaging. Solid, biodegradable, sustainable cardboard with cool features and artwork. Makeup is not a necessity, and we should push brands to be eco-friendly. Also, more cruelty-free brands. I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100,000%, especially the fact that makeup isn't a necessity. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be more conscious of everything, and not we as in people, we as in brands. Like the brands should be more conscious and they should use more sustainable packaging. They shouldn't be testing on animals, but that's a whole other debate. I just agree with you, bottom line. Small palettes are so much better than big palettes. I would much rather have 9 and 12 pan palettes than ones with 25 plus shades. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I don't love big palettes at all. 9 to 12 is actually my sweet spot. I think that's perfect. This is such a funny one. I don't get those stupid airy fairy waste of space eyeshadows that are too dark to set primer with but too light to do anything else with. What am I supposed to do with the waste of space? And also the Juvia's Place Festival did not need a blue metallic. I actually don't have that palette anymore because I realized I wasn't really getting use out of it, but I really liked the blue in that palette. I thought it was really pretty, and I totally get what you mean about that shade that's like not really light, but it's not deep at all either. It just kind of sits there. I never get use out of those shades. All right, here's the last one. Blowing out the lower lash line is not for me. It looks too bottom heavy, defeats the purpose of concealer, and creates raccoon eyes, especially when it's a color that can make you look sick or have a black eye. This one again makes me just wonder, like, why do you even watch my videos? I love blowing out my lower lash line so much. I love that grungy blown out vibe. I especially love doing it with like pinks or colors that people perceive as like sick looking. I think it looks so cool, and it's actually a good trick to kind of like hide your under eye bags. It kind of blends it all together, makes it just look more sultry, grungy. I think it's to die for. I love it. Sorry if you don't. I will never stop doing it. All right, so those are all of the ones I hit on. Hopefully I grabbed the mass majority of these. I tried to pick and choose on ones that I didn't really talk about in the last video and ones that weren't too repetitive in this video. I hope you liked it. I'm glad you guys wanted me to do this again because it was a lot of fun. I probably won't do one of these again for a while because you got 2 in a row, but I will definitely do this again someday. It's fun hearing people's thoughts and opinions. This was fun. I have no hurt feelings. I hope nobody else does either. This is all just chill, it's chatty, it's something to distract us because we're all stressing, especially me lately. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, this is a very specific emoji request. There's always those people that leave emojis that you can't stand seeing. I know in the last one I said your least favorite emoji. This is different. This is just when you see that one specific emoji used by that one specific person, it drives you nuts. Mine is the 100. I don't know why. I don't like when people use it. It bothers me. I want that emoji down below. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's BeautBean. Follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.